All right, this video is going to deal with what are called contract verbs. Specifically, we are going to deal with the epsilon subset. So there are three different kinds of contract verbs. There are alpha, epsilon, and omicron. So for example, timao means to honor. Notice there's an alpha next to the omega. Phileo, which is the word we're going to work with, which is to love, there's an epsilon next to the omega. And deloo, which is to show, you got an omicron next to the omega. So, like I said, we're only going to deal with the epsilon subset in this video. So basically, what you have happening is vowels coming together, and Attic Greek, at least, does not like it, and so it does this thing called contracting. So what you have is when you have an epsilon plus an omega, that comes together into an omega. Epsilon plus epsilon iota diphthong, that comes together as an epsilon iota. Epsilon plus epsilon, that also comes together, epsilon iota. Epsilon plus omicron is epsilon upsilon. And then epsilon plus omicron upsilon is omicron upsilon. So let me go ahead and show you how this works. We're also going to have our accents shifting and doing strange things. And we're going to have circumflexes to show that vowels have come together. So I'm going to go ahead and conjugate phileo for you. So in the dictionary, it's going to say phileo. And I can go ahead and show you that really quickly. This is a website I like to use, Logaon. If I look up phileo, you'll see here in the dictionary, right here, it is uncontracted. And it's got this whole big entry, and you can eventually find that it means to love. So this is Attic Greek, which means that we have to contract our verbs. If you were doing Homeric Greek, that's a different story. So we have to have this epsilon and omicron come together. So for the indicative, okay, we make our chart. We've got our singular, we've got our plural, we've got our first, second, and third. What it's going to do is mush together. So we have philo with a circumflex, okay? Philes, which this looks the same, but we have a circumflex. Phile also looks the same, but there's a circumflex, okay? This is where it changes. Instead of phileomen or philomen, we have philumen, okay? And then we have another difference, philete. Notice the epsilon iota, not just a bare epsilon. And then here we have philusi. And remember, there's the optional movable nu. So we either have circumflexes appearing and otherwise looking normal, or, especially in this case, we have the vowels coming together and we can see the shift that has happened. So we also run into trouble when it comes to imperatives. Yeah. Okay. So these are only second person for the moment, singular and plural. So what we have going on here, right? We have our phile root plus our a, or over here, ate. Okay? So when those come together, we get phile and philete, with accents not exactly where you'd expect them. So This one here looks exactly the same as our second person plural present active indicative, right? But it always looks the same in the non-contract verbs as well. However, this one is a problem, okay? So it says phile. That is a command. It's like you are telling a single person to love, right? But it looks like our third person singular. Like if we were saying he loves. It looks like that. However, notice the accent mark. He loves is going to have a circumflex, whereas this one has our acute on its first syllable, or one syllable back from the end. So this is going to be tricky. Context is going to tell you, but remember, if you want a command and it has this ending, maybe it's a contract verb, and you go to the dictionary and you look it up. And if it has that epsilon there right before the omega at the end, you know it's a contract verb. So phileo is one example. Another one is to help. Ophileo. Okay? So this is going to look like Ophello, Opheles, Ophele. Then we have Ophelumen. And Ophelete, and Ophelusi, or Ophelusine, depending on what vowels are around. And in our imperative, this is the indicative, we are going to have Ophele. Oops. But notice, this one's third, this one's second. Notice the accents. That changes it. And then we're going to have Ophe. Oh my goodness. Ophelete. Okay? And this would be commanding people to help. So if we want to tell a single person to help, we'd say Ophele. If we want to tell multiple people, help, Ophelete. So our last piece we need to do is our infinitive. And that is pretty straightforward as well. It's going to have the circumflex. We're having the epsilon come together. So back to philo, right? Phileo. Our infinitive ending is ain. And we need the epsilon plus the epsilon iota. That is going to be an epsilon iota. We're going to have a circumflex. So it's going to be philane. So maybe I want to love the girl. Okay? So Othello, philane, tain, chorain. I want to love the girl. Or I want to help the girl. I'm going to help the girl again. Tain, chorain. I think I got the accent wrong there. Anyway, so this is just our epsilon subset because the epsilon ones are most similar to the endings that we have already seen. However, note that when you see that circumflex, that means that vowels have come together and have gotten mushed.